Hello and welcome back to Scratchwork Farm Model. So today's on Model Farm Week 26 Season 1. So there was a bit of a mess up, I put Week 21 last week when it should have been Week 25. But oh well, we're here now. So this has all been cleared out apart from that barrel that needs to get pulled out ready for the straw to come in. Because the small squares that get stacked in here first and any left over get hand stacked in there. Then everything's in there. We might think about selling a bit of this kit because we want to free up a bit of space in the yard. We've got the Land Rovers and the pickup parts up, we've got the clamp, obviously all the hay in there, and then we've got the forklift and the bale shear and the muck scrape. Then we've got the start of the straw coming in there, and then we've got Richard in the John Deere telehandler with the Fleming bale spike, just unloading Jack in the John Deere 3650. So we've borrowed this bale trailer off a friend. It's a homemade one they did. But we just needed something a bit more because you'll see where the cane's quite busy in a minute. And then we got the Joskin trailer. It's a bit annoying, we wanted to stack flat 8s on there but it's not quite wide enough, but oh well. Then we got all the trailers. The Claas Jaguar Combine, Claas Crop Tiger even is out on a contract at the moment, so that's why it's not here today. Then we got the John Deere Forager. That's not going to get used because they're only doing silage bales now. It might get a contract but there's going to be no pit silage of our own. Then we've got the bale squeezer, we've got the bale wrapper and the rower. We got the spearhead hedge cutter, the drill, the quad. Then we got all the attachments down here. The bale spike for the Kubota isn't on it because it's got the flat 8 on it. We got the double bale dump which will get used soon for silage. Then we've got the plough and everything. So over here is the new beast. It's a Claas Arium 420. So we got this because we wanted something to replace the Ford, because we bought the Ford just to sort of do it up, but we found ourselves using it as a full-on tractor, so we needed something else. So we've got this, and we'll probably get rid of the Ford sooner than later, because originally we had the Ford years ago with the same Ford but with a front loader. And we sold it, and then we bought the Kubota. Well, we part exchanged it for Kubota, and then the front loader got mangled on it, so we bought the Ford back because we just thought, oh well, we'll have it back and do it up, and we've ended up using it. So I think we'll finally get rid of it and get rid of it for good. So this is a Claas Arium. It's quite a nice one. We're going to have row crop tyres put on it, and it's got front loader brackets which the dealership are left on, but they're coming somewhere in the week to take them off, and then they're going to pay us back for the loader brackets because we're not putting a loader on it. Then the door's open at the moment because we're just letting it air because they put the horrible dealership air freshener in there, because it's not new but it's ex-demo, so it's been at quite a few shows and people sitting it and trying it, so they've cleaned it all out, but it still had all the plastic on the seat and all around the gears and everything, so that's all been taken off now, so it might as well be a new tractor. So this is actually around Daft's Way. It was the dealership near him, so we actually went and looked at it with him because he was also looking at some other kit, and then after that we went and popped into his place and had a look around his yard, looking at the new buildings and future plans for the yard and concreting and stuff. So that was quite good when we went down to see him, and we looked at this then. So this got delivered a few days ago on a low loader. We didn't go and collect it because it's a bit of a trek up. Then over here we've got the Primex tanker and the corner muck spreader and the roller and that trailer that we still don't know what to do with. And then we've got the firewood there because we were thinking using this for firewood delivery, that trailer, but this firewood will be getting cut up very soon. Then in the barn here we've got some post, the last of last year's straw, but the straw's not getting stats in here because this is lambing barns. Some feed barriers, the Fert spreader and the Ford 5000. And then we've got this field which is going to be second cut, and then obviously the rubble hasn't been moved yet, so we are going to get around to doing that as and when we get a chance, because we'll have to get it done because there is an entrance to the other side of the field, but it's a lot easier to go in this way. So then here we've got the big squares on the Kano loader, and then we've got Aaron in the Massey Ferguson 7480. So basically the contractors here came out of our field because this is a silage field, this field here, but they went alongside it to their field because it's easier getting in for their big kit. and basically for letting them trample a good bit of the field to get round, they did us a deal on some quite cheap straw. So we've got this load there, and they've got their big Fendt and the New Holland Heston baler, so they're just taking that back. So we don't own any of this kit obviously because they're a separate company, but we did a deal with them, so it worked out well. We got a load of straw and they got easy access. Then over here we got the John Deere 6820, and all I'm going to say is Noah. The rest you should be able to figure out yourself. So Noah, he was mowing. As you can see, he's got the back arm up to come around the pole, and then he hit a flint or something and he had a blowout. So we got the tyre fitters in, just putting a new one in, a new tyre on, because it is quite an old machine because it gets used on the contracting, so the tyres are always going over on stumps and stuff. So that he's just fitting a new tyre to it at the moment, and then we should get back to chopping probably tomorrow now. So busy with baling, because we chop in the morning and bale in the afternoon because you have to wait for the straw to dry out. Down here at the big grass field, nothing started second cut wise because obviously we had the blowout, but this will be second cut extremely soon. Still in between hay or silage, probably silage on this to be fair. And then over at the contractor's yard we got Ian and his Ford in this trailer ready to do the small square delivery. We've got Noah, the culprit himself, he's just hitching up to that trailer. Then he's also doing delivery, but they're just waiting in the contractor's yard because the field is full, which you'll see in a minute, so they can't really get in it to get loaded. And then the JCB 860 is still out on a contract, so it's good, at least we've got something with a bit more income, because it's really annoying seeing all these machines just sitting there. They could be out on a job, but we just need to employ some more people. But the Yanmar might be going up to Mick soon, because he was going to do all this fancy pants steel stuff to have a nice barn, but he's decided he just wants to get on with it, so he'll probably do it himself out of wood. And then he's got we've got the dumper and the NC trailer, and then nothing's in that field. The post still need doing back there, but we're between pigs and sheep putting in there next, but we're just too busy at the moment, so we haven't really decided on anything. Then down here we've got the Matt in the Kubota with the flat 8 grab. Down here we got Matt in the Kubota with the flat 8 grab. They're just loading this guy now. He's called Ben, so this is him and his Ford 6000 in his own trailer. So this is all his kit. He's going to take that out to Swag Yard and then we'll unload him. Then we got the trailer that's behind the Kubota. Then we got Mick in his really nice International with the New Holland baler and the bale sled. He's just doing the small square. He's done a good bit, but he's got a lot more to go. And down at the house, not much is going on. Everything's fine with the ride on, and the chicken's getting on well. And then we've got Connor in the Case Maxim 150 with the Kuhn round baler, so that he's just round baling this. He's done a good bit, but he's got a lot more to go. And then all the round bales up at the yard at the moment are off another field, so they weren't from here because we haven't touched this field with loading yet. Up at Mick's yard, that post has been concreted in now, which is good. And then he hasn't hung the gate yet because he's been busy baling. Then he's still got to do the fence along here because he wants to put sheep out here. And he's had this hardcore delivered, ready to do the shed up there, which he was going to go steels, but it's going to be too expensive and he doesn't want to risk going into financial trouble again. So he's going to do it with wood, and it's basically going to be a workshop for him that he can also store a bit of kit in, because he wants to get his own skid steer or something eventually to load the processor. Because also it would be nice to keep the case where it got restored out the rain, because obviously these would be full up with logs. So his Jeep's up here because obviously he's on the case, so he drove that down. Then he's still got the Kubota hiring, that is going back tomorrow. He was going to keep it in to dig the footings for that, but he doesn't know when he's going to get round to it, so he's just going to borrow one of ours, or possibly it would be a bit of a slog, but he might bring up his 3CX. But then he's got our cat skid steer, so he's still borrowing this, but it doesn't bother us because he's now he's started making a little bit from the firewood. He's giving us a bit for having this up here, but it doesn't bother us because we're so busy at the moment we wouldn't have a job for it anyway. So as long as he puts diesel in it and fixes it when it breaks, we're not bothered. Then he's got his wood stats up there, which is slowly going down. And then obviously he's got his firewood and the processor's off at the moment, because he's obviously got the case further down doing the baling. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Any questions you have, leave in the comments, and see you again soon.